This is lesson 33, session 2. We will continue naming and describing two-dimensional shapes and working with sorting them. We are on page 773. So I'm going to read the problem here, and it says, Sophie says the shapes in each group are the same in some way. How are they the same? So we're looking at group A, group B, and group C. And Sophie says that the shapes in each group are the same in some way. How are they the same? So how are the shapes in group A the same? How are the shapes in group B the same? And how are the shapes in group C the same? Okay, so down here I'm going to make like a little chart that says ABC. So we're going to have A, B, C. And then next to each one, we're going to write how they're the same. So let's look at group A. One of the things that we learned yesterday is to count the corners. And when you count the corners, you could draw circles. The corners are where the 2 points meet. So like here, this has 1, 2, 3. And this shape has 1, 2, 3. And this shape has 1, 2, 3. So that's one way that group A could be the same. They all have 3 corners. So here next to group A, I'm going to write 3 corners. Okay, let's look at group B. How could we say that group B, all of these shapes are the same in some way? We could count the corners again. We could count the size, or we could look at the shape of them. If I look at the green shape, that tells me that that is a rectangle. The purple shape is a rectangle, and the orange shape is a rectangle. So group B, one way that these shapes are all the same is they are all rectangles. So I'm going to put the word rectangles next to B, because that tells me that those are all rectangles. So for group A, we counted the corners. Group B, we looked at the shape. Now when we look at group C, we could count the corners. We could count the sides. We have not done that yet. Do these all look like the same shape? I hope your answer was no. We could not write the name of the shapes of those because those are not all the same shape. Since we haven't done the sides yet, I'm going to count the sides just to remind you how to do that. And let's see if all of these have the same number of sides. Okay, so I'm going to start here. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the blue shape has 6 sides. Let's count the sides on the yellow. 1, 2, it's a little tricky, 3, 4, 5, 6. The yellow one also has 6. Let's count the pink one. That has 1. That's a little side right here. That's going to be, I'm going to use the mouse to draw my line. I hope it works. That's 1. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the blue has 6, the pink has 6, and the yellow has 6. So in group C, all of those shapes have 6 sides. All right, let's flip our page over. And here you're going to see the same problem. This was the way that we did it, the try it, and now we're going to look at the model it so that we can compare our answers. So it says, Sophie says the shapes in each group are the same in some way. How are they the same? Okay, the model it for the triangles, it shows that they have 3 sides and 3 corners, and that they are all triangles. Whenever a shape has 3 sides and 3 corners, it's called a triangle. Group B showed that it had 4 sides and 4 corners, and those were all rectangles. In group 6, they have 6 sides and 6 corners. This shape right here is a hexagon. That does not mean that this is a hexagon and that is a hexagon. Okay, so it says blank have 3 sides and 3 corners. Which shape up there does it say has 3 sides and 3 corners? Right here, 3 sides, 3 corners. That shape is a triangle. So on the line here, we're going to write triangles. Rectangles have blank sides and blank square corners. So right here you can see it says rectangle, and up here it shows you that they have 4 sides and 4 square corners. So rectangles have 4 sides and 4 square corners. Hexagons have blank sides and blank corners. So right here it shows us that hexagons have 6 sides and 6 corners. So that chart was very helpful to us. All right, let's look at the next page. And it says, how is your way like model it, and how is it different? We're just going to talk about this. So if I look back at how we did it, we put that group A had 3 corners. Well, they also said that group A had 3 corners. So that's how our way is similar. They also put that it has 3 sides and that they were all triangles. So that's how it's different. Group B, we put that they were rectangles. We were correct that they are rectangles. What's different is that they also put that they have 4 sides and 4 square corners. And then for our group C, we put that it has 6 sides. For the model it group C, they also put that it has 6 sides, but they added that it has 6 corners and that those are hexagons. So that just explained how our way was like the model it and how it was different. Okay, let's look at number 2. Why can shapes have the same name but look different? So if we look up here, actually it's better to look here. Why can these shapes all be called triangles even though they look different? This one is bigger than this one. This one is skinnier than this one. As we look at the rectangles, this one is way longer than these other ones. This one is the smallest. This one has perfectly sides like that. This one has small sides and big sides. Okay? So the reason that shapes have the same name but look different is because they can be different sizes. They can, some are bigger, some are smaller. Okay, so right here where it says this, why can shapes that have the same name look different? We are going to just write they can be different sizes. Okay, then we're going to look at number 3. Allie says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? Okay, so well, we have 3 different colored shapes. They have 3 different sizes it kind of looks like. They're facing different directions. But Allie says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? They have sides and square corners. How many sides and corners do these shapes have? It's a little tricky for me to count these yellow ones on here because that one's so narrow. So I'm going to count the red. Okay, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So they have 4 sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So they all have 4 sides and 4 square corners. And what is the name of the shapes that have 4 sides and 4 square corners? The shapes are rectangles. Okay, then flip it over. June says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? So again, we're going to count the sides and count the corners of each and then write the name of the shape. Okay, so the red one has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. The yellow has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. The green has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. So they have 3 sides and 3 corners. And these shapes are called, I hope you said triangles. A shape that has 3 sides and 3 corners are triangles. All right, Sammy says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? So one of those is a square and one of them is called a rhombus. But Sammy says that these shapes are the same in some way. Now these shapes have different names. So how can these shapes be the same in some way? Let's count the sides and let's count the corners to see. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. That's for a square. And a rhombus has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So as we look down here, it says they have sides that are all the length and corners. Well, we know because we counted them both that they have 4 sides that are all the length. Would that make sense to say 4 length? No. The length is from here to here and from here to here. They are all the same length. That means the sides are all equal. And they have 4 corners. Okay, number 6, it says describe the circle. How many sides does a circle have? And how many corners does a circle have? Well, I hope your answer was 0 sides. There's nothing straight. There's nowhere where 2 lines meet. You need a straight line to have a side. So a circle has 0 sides, and it also has 0 corners, because it has to have from like point to be a side, and the points are the corners. And circles do not have that because it is round. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. You're going to go on to do the green page on your own. Just read the directions and look back at these pages on the blue pages if you need help.